let's continue the 10.3 output price profit in the short run. We have known that the short run supply curve is the AVC curve above the shutdown point. Okay, we have shown that in the last section. The quantity supplied by all firms at each price where each firm's prompt and the numbers of firms remaining the same. Okay, so by knowing this, we can draw this kind of market supply curve in the short run in 10.6. Point A shows is the shutdown point. At price of shutdown price $17 per sweater, some firms will choose to shut down and others will choose to produce a quantity which is 7 sweaters. So it's a horizontal line. And then above the price of 17, as price goes up, firms are likely to provide more output, which tells the points as B, C, and D, and this is the upward sloping, which is the curve that we are familiar about supply curve, upward sloping supply curve. Okay? Then, by having the similar downward sloping market demand curve, we can find out the short-run market equilibrium by intersection of market supply and market demand. And in this diagram 10.7, it shows the short-run equilibrium, which is a price of 20 and a quantity of 8. So this is the short-run market equilibrium. Then, when there is a change in demand, for example, some kind of elements influence the consumer's preference over the product. Now, there is an increase in demand. It will bring a rightward shift of the market demand curve to the right, right? So we can observe the demand curve shift from D1 to D2. And we reached a new equilibrium, which is a quantity of 9 and price of 25. Both price and quantity of equilibrium increases. Okay. However, if there is a decrease in demand causes a leftward shift of market demand curve, we are going to observe the market equilibrium price and quantity decreases. Okay. So then we can talk about profit and losses in the short run. Because we know that in the short run, as we have discussed in the last section, firms may suffer a loss. Maximize profit is not always a positive economic profit. If it's negative, it means it incurs a loss. Okay? So, then the next slide, the next figure 10.8 shows 3 possible profit outcomes of a short-run market in the perfect competitive market. In part A, the price equals to average total cost, which means that the firms make 0 economic profit, or we call it breaks even. The economic profit is 0. Okay? And in part B, we know that the price is higher than the average total cost. So which means that now the firms make a positive economic profit, and the area of the blue rectangle is the profit. Third, in the part C, which means that the price is lower than average total cost, now the firms incurs an economic loss. So which means economic profit is negative, and the loss is the area of the red rectangle. So, by having known these 3 possible outcomes, we can know that they are all possible in the short run for a firm. But how? How will this change if a firm's moving from short run into a long run. Because in the short run, we assume that the time is quite short, that firms have no opportunity to change the total fixed cost, which means that in the long run, firms will always have the fixed cost. However, in the long run, a firm can change the fixed cost into variable cost because the time is quite long. And in the long run, we know that there is no fixed cost. All the costs are variable. Then, are all those three possible outcomes of profit in the short run still exist in the long run? We are going to see that in next section.